Hi, you're watching DualShockers TV on DualShockers.com. I'm David Fenster. We're taking a look at Battlefield 4 at the EA booth. I'm here with Alex, and he's the multiplayer producer.
That's right.
So I got a bunch of questions for this game. I'm highly anticipating myself. Actually, I was wondering if you could tell me a bit about the weaponry. I know Battlefield 3 had a very diverse set of weapons. The guns, somehow, even though there were so many, they all felt slightly different. And I was wondering if you could tell me a bit about what you're going to do with weaponry for Battlefield 4.
So, of course, we wanted to take the fan feedback that we got, and we're going to address those issues that we can address. Of course, we want to make every weapon feel unique and have its unique positions on the battlefield. On top of that, then we are adding more customizations to the weapons, including sidearm customization, which is something that's quite fun to do as well. And of course, we're bringing tons of new gadgets to the game. We're mixing it up a little bit, of course, between the different classes to also listening to what people have to say, and so we're doing changes there as well.
Okay, and how important is realism in the weaponry? I know that there was, in the past, a lot of research in trying to get something accurate, and then there were probably tweaks afterwards to try and balance them or make them diversified a little bit. But tell me, is the realism of weaponry important here?
I wouldn't say so. I would say fun or realism. I would say that a weapon should be in the weapon category it's in. It should be inspired by its real-life counterparts. So those are the things that we are going for there. We're not making a realistic game per se, but we're making a believable game, hopefully, and that's what we're going for.
Can you give an example of some time where there was some realism in weaponry and it was taken away for whatever reason?
I would think that we had a couple of things in the beginning of Battlefield 3 that we have to tone down, specifically on the attachment side and how they modify the guns and stuff like that, which probably based on the the idea of some realism that we tone down later.
Okay. Cool. And can you tell me about map size in Battlefield 4? I know Battlefield 3, Battlefield in general is just big maps, big, awesome maps. I know that expansions like Armored Kill was like huge, gigantic maps. What can we expect in Battlefield 4?
So what we're showing here today is Siege of Shanghai, which is the first map we're showing up. Now this is a pretty big map. We've never done urban maps in this scale before, which is kind of interesting. And we designed it with 64 players in mind, seeing as we're going 64 players on the next-gen consoles. So this was something that we designed into it from the beginning. And if you take a look at the previous games that we have put out, we want to play on the full spectrum of what Battlefield is. So without going into too much detail, there will be a range of maps from the large to the small.
Great. I noticed there were some new gadgets, like I noticed the green laser that you can attach. Is there anything else that we can look forward to, something that you're particularly proud or think is going to be totally fun?
Yeah, there's tons of new gadgets. We're showing off a few new while we're here. The XM25 being one of them, which is pretty fun to play around with. This motion sensor thing is back that you can throw.
Oh, Bad Company too, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that one makes a return. And a couple of more interesting things that we have up our sleeves, of course.
Okay. Has there been any feedback from the fans that you've utilized in creating Battlefield 4?
Yeah, of course. We listen to the fans all the time, and specifically on Battlefield 3. We've been working on Battlefield 3 for some time with all the expansion packs and stuff like that. And we listen to the players, and we try to make sure that the players aren't always right, but we try to find a place where it's fun and also pleasing to our fans, of course.
Okay. Yeah. I noticed. Well, actually, I was wondering if you could tell me: is there something in Battlefield 3 that we won't be seeing in Battlefield 4?
We done some changes to the suppression mechanic, which also was fan requested. It should be less random now, which is something that the players have been wanting. Rather than speaking of what we removed, we added a couple of other nice things. So now you can peek over covers if you go up to it and aim in. So you can peek over covers like this, which is something that is pretty cool as well. And of course, we have the swimming. Now you can actually dive underwater. You can use your sidearm while swimming, and also use a C4 while swimming. So swim up to that boat.
Oh my gosh, I love C4. I can't wait to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Can Can you tell me a bit about, well, there's this unofficial game mechanic that I think has been prevalent throughout all of Battlefield. It involves C4 and Jeeps. It begins with J and ends with EHOD, and I was wondering if this sort of mechanic is still supported.
We want to give players the choice to, you know, this is sandbox. Battlefield is a sandbox. We want to give players the choice to do whatever they want to do, be creative with the gadgets they have. So right now you can still do it. You know, if we keep it or not, we're not sure. But you know, some people like it, some people don't. But we'll see.
Okay, and also there's this new commander mode, like I guess a commander class. I was wondering, is it possible to take out a commander? Is it possible to kill a commander?
No, the commander is removed from the actual map this time around. So we wanted to make sure that commanders had lots of things to do and didn't have to worry about being in the game world itself. So we wanted them to focus on being the commander. So basically that also means that, you know, 64 players is 64 players, not 62. So it's 64 plus 2 this time.
Oh, no kidding. Okay. So basically, about how much power does a commander have in terms of shifting the battle? And I don't mean from communication standpoint, I mean in terms of just sheer power.
So it all depends. I think that first of all, if players follows the order of the commander, you play him better. Then he can help you even more. Because we did the change, we put many of the assets the commander can use are now connected to a control point. So you need to maintain a control point in order for you to have that cruise missile, which is the commander power, right, or the AC-130 gunship. So you want to make sure that you keep those points so the commander becomes more powerful. So it benefits you while benefiting the commander. Help him, help you.
Great. I also noticed from playing with it, it looks and feels a lot like, and don't take this the wrong way, because I think Battlefield 3 is like a freaking amazing game. I have tons of hours logged against it. But it seems like the game engine is definitely derived from Battlefield 3. And I was wondering if you could tell me, have there been any improvements to physics or anything else of the game engine?
Pretty much all aspects of the game engine has, you know, gotten updates or rewrites and stuff like that. You know, physics are better, animations are now better. We introduced a new system for animations again, which will make it even better, I think. Audio has a slightly improvements there. And so I think all across the board there are improvements. And, you know, network code, of course, and that sort of stuff.
Cool. Can we expect... Yeah. Oh, okay. Can we expect any sort of improvements like going in and outside vehicles? Like I know right now, and actually it's throughout the entire series, you go up to a vehicle, you enter it, you're inside it. Is there any sort of animation to doing that?
No, we decided to go against it. We've tried it a few times, but every time we do that, it feels like it's taking too much time, and we want people to get into the game and not spend time in being in sort of a canned animation, because sometimes that's cool, sometimes that's just annoying. You just want to get out there and do it. So, you know, it might be something we'll take a look at again for the future, but definitely not for Battlefield 4.
Okay, and what's the biggest thing that makes Battlefield 4 as opposed to just Battlefield 3 plus expansion?
I would say it's our design concept that we call levolution. If you saw the demo that we had a couple of days ago where we had a falling skyscraper into the map itself, now that's part of what we call evolution, because what we wanted to do is to create more dynamic elements onto the map itself. We wanted you to make sure that you can change the map and you have to adapt to the changes that are happening on the map. They should feel very different every time you play through it.
Should we expect stuff like that on all the maps, or most of them at least?
Well, we expect dynamic elements, I can say that, yeah. So for instance, it's not all about the big events, which is of course huge because it changes quite a lot. But it's also about the smaller elements, like for instance you have car alarms going off when you go into them. You know, these are small things, but it actually changes quite a lot when you are playing versus that other guy, right? Car alarms, you have sprinklers going off, you can shoot the fire extinguishers, you can control shutter gates that you can take up and down to, you know, restrict areas. You can lower and raise bollards, so vehicles have to kind of go out and lower them again. So it's stuff like that, and you know, shoot out the lights, of course. All these are dynamic elements tied together, including destruction, of course. Is what we call evolution, and again, it's more a design concept and a feeling that we want to convey. It's a dynamic part of the battlefield.
All right, well, you heard it here. Battlefield 4. It's coming out when?
It's coming out on PC, Xbox 360, and PS3. In North America, October 29th, and in Europe by October 31st.
Thanks. You're watching DualShockers TV and DualShockers.com. This is Alex.